Well, heyo, I wanted to do something a little different, and it's certainly not because I'm trying to see if catering to the search terms on YouTube works. You know, I never really wanted to make a video like this because honestly, it's a lot of work. But I've cut my own demos and I've shot solo sketches a fair number of times now, so maybe the knowledge I have would be able to help you on your journey to stardom.
How to reel by yourself.
For actors, let's start with some truths. Pursuing a career and passion in acting or film is difficult and expensive. You're constantly spending even just a little bit of money and often bringing in nothing at all. In 2020, I made about $1,700 for background extra work. For most of us, that doesn't even cover a month of rent. And you could blame some of that on Corona, but making a living wage in any year with your art is a long-term goal for most performers, be them actors, writers, comedians, musicians, etc. Some may never achieve it. Some may achieve success in other related areas. Many will quit when they realize that you don't just show up and become a star, or even a consistently working actor with just your stunning personality. Even if you aren't attempting to shoot your own reels, you'll spend money on casting websites like Backstage, casting networks, and Actors Access. You might need to pay for cloud storage to store your footage long term. You'll pay union dues once you're in the union. You'll pay for classes to keep up your skills and keep practicing in between jobs. You'll have domains and hosting for your website. You might pay for streaming services to help keep you up with the industry. Social media tools to help you post or watch your analytics data. The list could go on and on depending on you. And that's not even to mention paying monthly for Adobe to get Photoshop to create promotional materials and Premiere to edit your footage. This is a pursuit that can easily suck the money right out of you and reward you with nothing for a long time, not even a pat on the back. Be sure that's something you fully understand before getting serious about this. If you are just starting out or the jobs are slow right now, you might be thinking you're fucked.
Don't.
I'm confident you have the capacity to use your own resources to, at the very least, get yourself on tape. All you need to know is how to use them and where to get or make what you don't have inexpensively. For example here, let's take a look at my super short sketch, The Fairy Godfather. Not my best work, but this sketch is the first time I did a few things.
Anybody? Hey, yo, forget about it. I'm your fairy godfather. What do you need?
This is how I achieved the cone of light around the Fairy Godfather character. Cheap, and it did the job. This is a Home Depot shop light with two bowls attached to each other with string through the holes that are already in the bowls. And around that is just kitchen tinfoil to prevent light leaks. The only thing left to do now is attach it somewhere high. For me, it was the ceiling light fixture. This sketch is also where I tried a green screen and in less than ideal settings. Because the room is so small, I typically blast the room with light, which does enough to lessen the shadows, but a little more clearance in your space would be better than what I'm doing here. Now I hear you saying, Raj, I don't have a camera. I'd hate to call you a liar, but I have to agree with Hayden Christensen here. Your phone is probably quite capable of capturing you and doing so pretty well. What you may need to help is a cheap tripod like this Amazon Basics one I have. Because I too am contributing to the overlord status of our new masters. Once you have your 3-pod, you're probably going to need a phone mount. I don't have one on hand to show you, but in my past experience, you're going to want to make sure your phone actually fits on the mount. You might actually have to take off your phone. Oh, fuck! I'm not going to know how your specific phone camera app works, but you probably want to use the zoom function minimally, as digital zooms will often produce a noticeable grain on the footage. Move the camera closer and use just a tiny bit of zoom if you need a close-up shot. This will also likely improve your sound recording if you're taking the audio straight from the phone. Because that's the thing about microphones. They work better closer to our mouths. But not too close! So what if you're stuck on not having an idea? My best advice is to think small. What's something you want to play? For me, for example, it was a mobster type, so that's why I made The Fairy Godfather. Once you have an idea about what you want, think about how you can make it happen right now with what you have on hand or what you can reasonably get either by buying it or borrowing it from a friend. When it comes to props, here's a little secret I picked up on low-budget indie sets. Sometimes people buy things and then return them. For any kind of equipment, I personally like to research the best recommended budget thing that also fits my needs and growth potential. I have been at this for a while, so I have some equipment to self-record. I have a 2009 Canon EOS 70 and a Sennheiser MKE 600, plus two Manfrottos, but I tend to stick with the Photo Manfrotto because it's smaller and easier to use in my 12x7 office. I also now use an Ando or softbox light kit to help me blast the green. If you're in the market for a camera today, you might consider 4K capabilities if you're serious about making content long term. But I personally think 4K is overkill for most things outside of produced content seeking professional distribution. Editing 4K footage could also put a strain on computers not optimized for such large files. Even in terms of buying equipment, you gotta think about what you want and can afford that works best with what you have right now. You'd hate to shoot a whole project and then find out you need a new computer just to edit it. If I were looking right now, I'd probably consider this Nikon D5600 in this bundle for $750. But I've always worked with Canon, so I might consider the more expensive Canon EOS RP, ideally with a lens, but why are there so many options, Canon? What do they all mean? If you're a point-and-shoot type of person, happy 60th birthday! Perhaps take a look at the Panasonic Lumix LX10 for $700 new. Amazon links in the description for everything mentioned in this video. Location is probably the biggest obstacle to overcome. If you can't reasonably shoot something in your home or can't safely shoot it outside, you'll have to get creative. Green screens can be intimidating, but it's fairly simple to use them, even if you create more work for yourself in post. Streaming software like Streamlabs OBS, which I'm using to record now, is good at keying out green with much less fuss than Adobe Premiere, for instance. That might not work for every situation, but if it does, why not make it easier on yourself? Let's take a look at something a little more recent and shot entirely on green screen.
I'm notable billionaire 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀. It sounds like you need a shitload of money.
This is my, spoilers, money is the secret to life sketch. Sorry if you didn't get to that part of life yet, but it's coming. You can see how I use my small space and simple editing features like motion and position to make it look like I'm walking in all these places. Some slight color correction to make me fit in with the surroundings, and that's about all it takes. There's absolutely no reason why you can't take what I've shown here and apply it to your work, whether it be comedy or drama. Comedy is certainly easier because cheesy and poor quality can be funny if it's done right, but that doesn't really work for dramatic work. Once you have some footage, you're ready to cut your reel. I like to make 1-minute reels in today's low attention span world. Plus, it forces me to try to pick only the very best moments, rather than try to fill up space or show everything that I've done. Focus on areas where your acting is particularly strong, or the visuals are gorgeous. Ideally, pick moments where both are true. Show the very best of what you got. This is your business card, so make it shine, Patrick.
That's bone.
Another thing to remember is this is your reel, your time to shine. So if there are other actors in the scene and their context isn't necessary to your lines, cut them out. Don't take away time from your reel to highlight someone else. Save that for when you're already a big star. If you want to see my reels as examples, I'll put them in the card right here. Did this make things any easier? Are you ready to shoot your own reel? Let me know in the comments, or if you have any more questions, I can try to demystify them for you. I'd love to hear it. If you got anything at all from this, you know a like and subscribe are always appreciated. For this video, I've been Raj, you've been awesome, as always, and I'll see you on set.